Hello and welcome back to the channel for the first part of my preview of Chapter 4 of Doctor Who Flux, Village of the Angels. Just as in previous weeks, I'm going to begin by taking a deep dive into the episode's synopsis, which thankfully has a bit more going for it this time round compared to last week, when it was literally just two really vague sentences. But no, there are some proper juicy details here that we can get our teeth into and speculate about. So without further ado, the synopsis is as follows. Devon, November 1967. A little girl has gone missing, Professor Eustacius Jericho is conducting psychic experiments, and in the village graveyard there is one gravestone too many. Why is Medderton known as the Cursed Village? And what do the Weeping Angels want? So immediately, lots of very interesting details here. I mean, first of all, let's take it right from the top. We've got a story set in Devon, which I don't think has happened in Doctor Who history before, certainly not on TV at least. So it's nice to see the show branching out a bit, going somewhere else in the UK, I suppose. And it's nice as well because Devon is actually just opposite the coastline of South Wales. If you look out from certain parts of the South Wales coastline, you see Devon, and vice versa. I mean, massive tangent here, but I was once on holiday in Devon a few years back, and I was looking out onto the horizon at the coastline of Wales, and I spotted this building in the distance, and I thought, hang on, I recognise that. And it turned out it was the power station that was in Last of the Time Lords and Mummy on the Orient Express. So it just goes to show that those two coastlines are pretty similar to each other and pretty close to each other. I just think that's nice, because obviously they are doubling Wales as Devon in this story. They didn't go to actual Devon, but it's not too far from the actual Devon. It's fairly close, which isn't always the case for Doctor Who. And then we basically just have this list of really spooky, eerie, sort of horror story-like details. So a girl that's gone missing, we've got a professor conducting psychic experiments, we've got the village graveyard where there's this mystery about there being a gravestone too many. What's that all about, I wonder? I mean, obviously we've had stuff with gravestones and weeping angels before, like the year of death being earlier than the year of birth and funny timey-wimey stuff like that. So I wonder if there's going to be something similar going on in this story. Maybe, I don't know, one of the residents gets transported back in time and things are sort of thrown out of balance in that way, there being a resident too many or a resident too few or something along those lines. I mean, just spitballing actually, I've just remembered the last time we had a gravestone too many in Doctor Who in this era, of course in Fugitive of the Judoon, when there was that fake gravestone by the lighthouse, under which was the fugitive Doctor's TARDIS. Could it be something like that? I mean, I'm not being necessarily serious when I say that, but hey, you never know. Obviously, if you've watched the trailers and you're familiar with the promotional material for this story, you'll know that the psychic experiments involve the character Claire, or Claire Brown, as introduced in the Halloween Apocalypse, who looks to be a character who's sort of out of time in some way, not in her own era, because she seems to have foreknowledge of the events that are about to unfold. Obviously, it's not quite clear if this episode is set before or after Claire's appearance in the Halloween Apocalypse. That's all still very much up in the air. I guess the implication is that these events do take place before that episode, because that would explain how she knew Yaz and the Doctor in the Halloween Apocalypse. But yeah, it's anyone's guess really. Then we have that final sentence about Medderton being known as the Cursed Village, and also what do the Weeping Angels want? And I was thinking about this, previous Weeping Angel stories, and in general, in summary, what the Weeping Angels tend to want, well obviously first and foremost is time energy and feasting on time energy. They're always ravenous for time energy, and that's about as far as their schemes and plans seem to go. I mean, obviously we've seen in previous episodes, in Blink, they were trying to get hold of the TARDIS. In the Time of Angels and Flesh and Stone, they're wanting to feast off the crack in time, and also wanting to revitalise their army in the catacombs on that planet. In The Angels Take Manhattan, there was that whole idea of the battery farm, and basically just having that endless supply of time energy to feast on. That's basically their whole modus operandi, really. Feasting on time energy and sort of maintaining that source of time energy. So in terms of this episode, perhaps Medderton is also, like Winter Key, perhaps it's another sort of battery farm type experiment thing, where they keep sending the residents back in time and all this stuff keeps reoccurring, because obviously in one of the trailers, I think one of the characters, Mrs. Hayward, I believe, says it's happening again. It's also sort of been hinted in various interviews, I think in Doctor Who magazine, for example, that the Weeping Angels are going to have a slightly different role to play this time round. So perhaps they're not going to rely so much on their previous previous episodes and how they've been presented previously. Perhaps this is going to add something brand new into the mix of Weeping Angel lore. So lots to speculate about ahead of this episode's broadcast on Sunday. But that's what I think, that's what I can glean from this synopsis. But what do you think? Be sure to let me know in the comments section below. Please also like the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel for more Doctor Who Flux related content. And I'll see you again soon for more videos previewing this episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Don't blink, and goodbye for now.